Today I just found out that I am what you call a zillennial. Now, I originally thought that I was a millennial. I was just a millennial. But I was introduced through social media, of course, that I am a zillennial. Now, what is that, you may ask? Well, a zillennial, by textbook definition, is a micro generation of people who were born between the early 1990s and the late 1990s on the cusp of the millennial and Generation Z generations, right? So we witnessed things like we witnessed economic hardships like 9/11 and the financial crisis of 2007, 2008. We were the first to use social media, but more importantly, we are the last generation that knew what life was like and can clearly and effectively remember what life was like before all of this new technology and social media came along. We knew how to interact with people, we knew right from wrong, and we were way less desensitized to traumatic situations as a society back then, especially more so than we are now. And that's really what I want to focus on in this video. Like, that's really gonna be what I come back to pretty often in this video. I've been seeing more and more the desensitizing of our society, and the main place I've been seeing it is on social media. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you want to get a temperature gauge on society, like as a whole, look in the comment sections on social media. Like, go under a news post or a viral tweet, because that will tell you everything that you need to know about where we are headed as people. Now, to catch you guys up on, really what I'm talking about now, over the past few days, I've seen a few really awful and tragic stories be brought to the forefront on social media. And I'll get to those stories in a moment, but I want to say that I have been astounded, just downright flabbergasted, dumbfounded, and any other adjective that you want to throw out there in regards to the amount of excuse making, defending, and ridiculous justifications of some of these awful situations and the people committing them. Now, to start this off, I saw a story yesterday in regards to a mother in Indiana by the name of Jasmine White, who is currently facing multiple charges, including neglect of a dependent, resulting in serious injury after she ran over her 8-year-old daughter at an apartment complex, all because she wanted to play a game with her.
The prosecutor's office announcing charges against a South Bend mom. It's related to a story we broke a couple weeks ago. This is 27-year-old Jasmine White. She's accused of neglect after allegedly driving over her 8-year-old daughter back on August 29th at the entrance of Cedar Glen Apartments in South Bend. What I just told you is based on what the prosecutor's office is telling us. The charging paperwork explaining how the girl's foot got caught under the rear tire of White's car as it was moving, pulling her to the ground, causing some severe head injuries, including skull fractures. It also caused the 8-year-old to lose 5 teeth. What does it say? The girl and her siblings were running alongside White's car as part of a game. A video allegedly shows White speeding off while the 8-year-old was hanging on the front passenger door handle. White is due in court this upcoming Monday.
Yep, you guys heard that right. This chick was playing a game with her children where she would pretend to drive off and leave the kids behind. But obviously she wasn't going to leave them. But the whole point of the game, I guess, is to make the kids think that she was going to leave them. I don't know. I've never played a game like this because, first of all, growing up, if my mom said she was leaving, she was out. Ain't no game. If she get in that car, she pulling off. It is what it is. You better get in or get left. It is what it is. But while they were playing this game, her 8-year-old daughter's foot got stuck under the tire of her car and she was dragged by the car for a few feet. Now, also there's video footage showing her driving, and she was apparently driving around like 15 to 20 miles an hour, which is like that's not slow. Like that's pretty good speed right there. She was going that fast while her daughter was hanging on to the passenger door handle. Now, her daughter was taken to the hospital. She was in critical condition. A couple days later, after the doctors were able to stabilize her, she was released and she was diagnosed with skull and orbital fractures, abrasions, and a large laceration on her face that exposed a portion of her skull. And to add insult to injury, no pun intended, the little girl also lost 5 teeth while all of this shit happened. It's obvious that this 8-year-old girl has a very long road to recovery ahead of her after her mother made a very poor error in judgment by running her over during this game. This is obviously a terrible situation, but I wanted to really deep dive into the delusional excuses that a lot of people have been using in order to try and, be desensitized, or in some way try and justify this by saying shit like, oh, my parents did this to me and my brothers. This never happened to us. Or my mom still plays this game with me and my sisters. I don't see anything wrong. And, just more degenerate shit like that. And I have a few of these comments here, right? So let's go through some of them. Now, the first one reads, my mama joked plenty of times and drove off acting like she was going to leave me and I'd run after the car. She'd stop, and when I got close, drive again. I refuse to judge in this situation. This comment has almost 5,000 likes. This next one says, I hate when y'all act so perfect. We see parents do these pranks all the time. Just something extremely unfortunate happened in this case. It was just a video of a woman taking off on her son because she told him get in the car over and over. And yes, she stopped after she ran for a sec, but accidents happen in very tragic ways. This is that. This has over 1,300 likes on it. This next one is just a simple, I still play with my adult kids like that. Over 180 likes. This one says, man, let that mom take care of her baby. She was just playing with her babies. This was done to all of us as kids. It was an accident. Has over 80 likes. Now, this is just a small example of the types of desensitizing that is used in order to try and downplay very serious situations. But wait, hold on. Because if that doesn't work, then just outright lying and deflecting is another tactic that is used as well. And that is so perfectly highlighted with this idiot's comment right here. Why is this news? No one does this for real. And it was a dumb accident. Why you always posting shit about black mothers? Over 700 likes. This last one, the last one that I showed you is honestly my favorite one because this is an obvious lie and an even more obvious deflection. You ask why this is news. Well, Miss Dum Dum, this is news because that black mother, since you want to bring race into it, I didn't bring race into it, you did. She decided to play a very dumb and reckless game with her children, causing one of them to have quite a few serious injuries that even an adult would have a hard time recovering from, and she's not even 9 years old yet. My real concern is that people like you are more upset at news outlets for reporting this instead of the mother for her reckless ass decision making. Accident or not, she made a dumb choice that put all of her kids' lives in jeopardy. You're supposed to stop accidents from happening to your kids, not cause them. And to say that nobody does this, right? Nobody does this for real is a clear lie, because obviously, judging by the thousands of likes on the comments that I just showed y'all, apparently a lot of you have done this type of stupid ass game, and some of you still do it. So that's an obvious and easy lie right there. Again, being desensitized to trauma and just bad situations, being so desensitized that a lot of y'all are willing to die on a hill and excuse really heinous shit like this. Like, how is this even a game? Like, what's fun about? So folks don't play hopscotch no more? I mean, y'all don't play tag, Uno, jump rope, hell, hide and seek, Marco Polo. I mean, damn, what the hell happened to that game? Those are fun games. Hell, I got a whole box of games downstairs. Like, I mean, what are we talking about? A car is not a toy, and it's definitely not something to be played with your kids. Now, moving away from that story, there was another tragic story that I happened to see, and just like this last story I just told y'all, the amount of desensitized comments and excuse making for this one was almost at an Olympic level. I mean, people were doing double, triple backflip, Simone Biles level vaults, trying to excuse away this story, and I couldn't believe it. Take a look.
Physical evidence, witness statements, and interviews with family members, detectives believe that this was a tragic incident of murder-suicide.
Weber County investigators say the West Haven shooting deaths of a mom and her 3 young children was a murder-suicide.
And now the family of the mother, Maribel Ibarra, says it knew nothing about her mental health.
Was murder-suicide. The brother of Maribel Ibarra told me he could not even foresee the possibility that she could take the lives of her own children and then herself. But investigators say that's what happened.
You can confidently say there's no one else suspected in the death of these 4 individuals.
The most definitive statement since Maribel Ibarra and the bodies of her 3 kids were found in a car in the family driveway Tuesday night.
An absolute tragic story, and even more so when you consider the fact that all of these kids were under 5 years old. But what's even more sad to me are once again the comments on social media essentially excusing and almost justifying in a way this awful situation. And before I show you the comments, it's going to be a theme that comes up about mental health, right, when going through this. And I want to be the first to say that DeOndre, am a big supporter of not only mental health support in general, but I'm also an advocate for men's mental health, more specifically Black men, women's mental health, more specifically Black women's mental health, and just my people overall. Not to single anybody else out, but it is what it is, okay? If you're mad about it, fight me. But I support having outlets for us to express our mental issues and being open about the issues that we as a people are facing, because too often in this society, we as men, but we as Black men, are seen as robots that don't have emotions, or we're always trying to sweep our problems under the rug for the sake of everybody else. And that's obviously not healthy. And so I support mental health wholeheartedly. But having said all of that, I am not in support of using mental health as a shield for criticism and critique, especially when it comes to innocent children that have absolutely nothing to do with it. And I'm certainly not going to make excuses or justifications for actual murder of said kids, mental health or not. But you can see here, I used to judge until I had my own children. You never know what people are going through. Postpartum is real. Mental illness is real, with a little heart at the end. That had close to about 4,000 likes. She didn't want to leave her children, so she took them with her. This had over 4,000 likes. This one says, when you a mom, you don't understand this, but you understand this, I guess, when you are a mom, I guess. Don't let it go over your head. Ain't leaving my kids behind for people to fake love or mistreat them. People only care when you're a headline. After that and before that, you don't matter. This had over 400 likes. Man, judging by some of these comments, I really hope some of y'all not out here having kids, because judging by these comments and the amount of people liking these comments, y'all really don't deserve them if y'all really think that there's any justification for this type of awful and tragic shit. Again, going back to this word that I keep using, desensitized. A lot of you walking around here are mindless zombies and you don't even know it. Y'all are sitting up on the internet, on social media, making excuses for actual murder and trying to use mental health as a shield in order to try and make sense or lessen the blow of judgment and criticism. That is sick. That is almost like some demonic level shit to do. Trying to say things like, motherhood is hard. Yeah, parenting is hard, period. But that don't mean off your damn kids. Like, are some of y'all hearing yourselves when y'all say this shit or when y'all type it out? Like, I'm sure that there's mothers out there right now who have small children and are depressed to the fullest extent, but it would never cross their minds to hurt their damn kids. And the fact that I'm witnessing, living, breathing, walking, functioning human beings on social media making excuses for anything, no matter how heinous, and especially for something like murder, is absolute insanity. I honestly have no words. But I wanted to talk about this topic. I've honestly been thinking about this for a while, actually, but I just had to talk about this with y'all. It's just not these two stories that I'm talking about. I've seen this shit across social media and on the internet, all across the internet, this type of desensitization going on in these internet streets is vicious. And I know I'm not crazy. And I know I'm not the only one that sees it. Like, I know I'm not. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. It's insane. And I see it too often. And so I had to talk about it. But something that's just been on my mind. And I really want to have a conversation about it in the comments. I know this might have been a little bit more of a somber video. And I know this might end up being a long one. But if you made it to this point, please don't forget to drop a like on this video. And don't forget to subscribe for the one time. Peace.